Hey, Classier here with the Q&A video. I guess for some of this I'm Joseph because it refers to real life. A little of both. But anyway, let's get going. So Tarquin asked, what kind of programming do I do? Or do you do? But it's me. So anyway, that's a little of an ambiguous question, but I'm gonna answer it in every way I can think of to answer it. So I do high-level programming. That means that I work in a language that is farther away, higher, compared to the machine language. So it's actually easier to work in. Normally when you hear high-level in a video game context, it's harder. But high-level languages in terms of programming are easier. In particular, I work in Java, and also we do stuff with Spring configuration, and SQL is, well, it's a query language, not a programming language, but close enough. In the past, I've also worked with C++, Ruby. I mean, for school I worked in Scheme, but I don't really know Scheme anymore. I could probably pick it up again. I feel like there was one other school language that I don't really know anymore, but yeah, so that's what languages I work in. The type of project that I work on is user interfaces. In particular, lately we've been doing a web application for stuff, but it used to be a Java Swing application. So yeah, that's a type of thing I work on, a type of language I work in. But for even more types, I definitely had another thing to say after that. What was it? And the type of business that I program for is warehouse control systems. I don't actually work with the conveyors directly. I mostly provide like reporting and a few ways to kick off commands because I'm the user interface. But I mostly send things to other systems for actually doing stuff. So yeah, that's that. I think that's all the ways. The data type I'm programming is strings. That's kind of a joke answer though. Of course it's a string. You're working with text files. There's no such thing as a number file. Well, there kind of is. .dat or .bin. Whatever. Moving on. My friend Sundaran, Rin for short, asked me a bunch of questions actually, which is nice because I actually posted on social media last night that I only had one question for this, and I kind of wanted to not be the most pathetic Q&A video in the world. So we've got some more questions. First, favorite video game soundtrack. I think favorite is always something a little hard to pick. So I'm gonna say Bastion, but I don't know if it really is. Other notable soundtracks are Before the Echo, which is a game that used to be called Sequence. It's a rhythm game RPG. Hatsune Miku Project Mirai DX. That's another rhythm game. I also like Phantom Brave, Transistor. The Toho games had nice soundtracks, and Undertale is another good one to mention. So next question: should Aurelia be nerfed? Why/why? I'm gonna go with the Y on the right. The right. The webcam's in front of me. This is my right hand. Okay. Favorite Flash game? I haven't really been playing Flash games recently, so I'm gonna have to go back a bit. And again, this is a question asking about favorites, so you're actually just gonna get at least one Flash game that I've liked in the past, not necessarily my favorite ever. Although before I actually give the serious answer, I will point out that the original Binding of Isaac was programmed in Flash, and so that would probably be what I picked. But I'm gonna assume this question is actually asking about a free game you could go online to play in like a Flash player online. Of course, you go online, but whatever. So I'm gonna pick 3 games because I played them in like 2008, and who remembers what they liked in 2008? At least I think it was about that year. But Amorphous Plus is probably the best stay in an arena and survive enemies game I've played, besides maybe like Geometry Wars, or maybe Waves. But Amorphous Plus is a little unique in that you've got a melee attack. And it's got interesting enemy designs. They don't all just like rush at you. It's not one of those like boring zombie survival, upgrade your guns over time and the enemies have more and more hit points games. I've played those, don't like them. But other games worth mentioning are Level Up and The Company of Myself. Both of them are platformers, but they're significantly different from each other. Level Up, that's with an exclamation mark. I'll put a link in the description because it's probably hard to search for, unless you search on like a Flash Games website, I guess. But it's about this girl that gets amnesia every night, and you're trying to stop that. And also, there's an end goal too that's separate from stopping that. I won't say much more, but every day you try to level up and also find where you want to go, and at night a thing happens. Yep. And The Company of Myself is a puzzle platformer. It's got some narration between levels. It's kind of interesting, I guess. Not gonna spoil what happens. So yeah, those 3 I think are among the top. Next, if I had to pick any fantasy world, i.e. Lord of the Rings, Undertale, to live in for the rest of my life, what would I pick? By the way, I'm looking at my second monitor for the questions, in case you're wondering why I keep looking to the right, by which I mean the left, by which I mean the right. But anyway, I think Pokemon is the obvious choice. Just throwing that out there. Plus, that nicely sidesteps the issue of what if you land in a fantasy world but don't actually get any powers as a result. Humans and Pokemon don't have any powers except the psychics. So, yeah. I think that would work well. I guess if it was Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, that would be a little different. But every human that goes to the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon world ends up becoming a Pokemon, so I don't think that would be an issue. Since, I don't know, it feels a little cheating to pick Pokemon because that's like super obvious, I feel. I'll throw out Kingdom Hearts as well. I think that's a decent world. Yep. Next question. What game have I enjoyed playing most this year, either on the channel or off channel? I think Guacamelee. It's a fine game. Metroidvania beat 'em up sort of deal. Pretty funny in parts. A lot of references to things if you look at like posters in the background and such. And also there's like one obvious reference in the gameplay I noticed. Yeah, I would recommend it. Next, what animal do I think they should add to a future Harvest Moon game? This is a little hard because future Harvest Moon game for me feels like everything since the Super Nintendo game, which I believe had horses, chickens, and cows. So adding on to that list, I think sheep would be a fine addition. I don't know if they've had sheep in any Harvest Moon game. And I mean, they kind of fit the qualification of it's an animal that you can get something from without killing the animal. So yeah, I think that would be an excellent inclusion in the Harvest Moon games. It's probably already in them. Besides that, I would say maybe if you could like keep a cat, and maybe it would prevent animals from digging up your farm or something. And I mean, you'd like feed it milk periodically or something. Milk from your cows that you have, because they've been in Harvest Moon since at least the SNES version. So yeah. Moving on. Would I ever consider doing a co-op board game LP if possible? And then examples of Mario Party, Family Feud, Wheel of Fortune, and etc. were given. I guess it wasn't for example, because that would have started EG. It was just in parentheses that was listed. And of course, etc. is and the rest. So literally every board game was listed there. Sort of. I would definitely consider a co-op board game LP. The first board game that would come to mind for me isn't on the list that was given, unless you count it inside it, etc. I would think of doing 100% Orange Juice. I also have Tabletop Simulator and Ticket to Ride, so those would be other possibilities without acquiring additional hardware or buying additional games. Because like if I wanted to do a Mario Party, I guess there's probably an N64 emulator. I don't know, I'm trying to get away from emulation mostly. You may notice I haven't emulated anything since... Oh boy, how long has it been? I mean, I actually bought Doom on GOG. Oh boy. I'm opening my playlists. Playlists. Oh, Robotrek. Okay, I guess it hasn't been that long. But before that, it was Castlevania Order of Ecclesia, Powerful Mail, Fantasy V Advance. Okay, so I guess it's only been a few months, but they're still less frequent than they used to be, I think. But yeah, board games, I like them and could be on call with friends and have fun playing a board game, stealing all their stars or something. Or half of them. That's how 100% Orange Juice works. And it rounds down. So even if they only have 1 star, you can't take all their star. Singular. Do I prefer summer or winter? Usually I've preferred summer. I mean, when I was in school, that was the break time, and you don't have to shovel snow, and like I had brothers that would often do the mowing of the lawn. So summer was like the time with the least chores, sort of. Least obligations, we'll say. Counting school as an obligation. And also I would often be indoors in an air-conditioned environment, so the heat wasn't awful. But this summer, it's been really hot, and I do have an air conditioner, but it's been a little inadequate. So I don't know. I'm tempted to say winter, but I think I'm still gonna go with summer. Because, like, next year I'm gonna have another AC unit installed, and it'll be better. And I won't have to shovel snow still in the summer. Let's see. Last question from Sundaran. This has all been from her. Do I have any advice for people who may want to start their own LP channel? I have an amount of advice, yes. I'll even give some of it. First I want to echo advice from Bertrudor, of course, which is make the LPs that you would want to watch. I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. And I mean, it's really simple guidance, but it will inform a lot of decisions. Like, you know now what games to pick, how you don't actually have to get angry at everything if that's not the style you like. I don't know. It's good advice. It's solid. Also, just from me, I would advise that the best free recording software I've found is Open Broadcaster software. You don't have to broadcast with it. You can just do local recordings. If you edit the save file location to say .mp4 at the end instead of .flv, you can get it to save mp4s. It doesn't work for any other extensions, but it works for those too. I actually work in FLV files though. I got a plugin for Windows Movie Maker to work with them. Let's see, any other advice? I guess for your first game, if you don't know what to pick something that's not too difficult. because it is a little hard to commentate. You will play noticeably worse for your first few LPs. But mostly for games, just pick stuff you want to show off, or stuff you wanted to play anyway, but record it. Let's see, I think that's all I've got on that subject. And then I got one question from my friend Hina. It was a bit of a joke, but I said I would answer it anyway. It was, are bunnies or cats best girl? With lowercase letter r at the beginning, not A-R-E. I'm gonna say bunnies. I mean, we've got some notable bunnies among video games. We've got Irina from Rabi-Ribi. As much problems as I've had with that game lately and complained, it's not like terrible. And I mean, Irina's cute. Also, we've got Bunny from Bunny Must Die. The controls are a little clunky in that game, but that game is kind of silly. I mean, how many more bunny girls do you need? There's Riven from League of Legends. Honestly. Well, there's one particular costume of Riven from League of Legends, and I think it's a bunny suit, not she becomes a bunny. But for cats, we've got like Miss Fortune from Skullgirls, and some of the enemies in Rabi-Ribi, and I guess also Bunny from Bunny Must Die, kind of. But I mean, like, bunnies. Come on. Yeah, that's my answer. So, yeah, that's all the questions. Good 1,500 video thing. See ya!